In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to make money in Dreadmyst. I'm going to break this video up into 3 parts. It's going to be solo content and group content and open world bosses. I'm going to start with solo content because I think this will suit the most players. If you don't find yourself doing solo content, you can skip ahead to the group content. I timestamped everything. The first thing you're going to want to do is farm the Barracks keys. The Barracks keys allow you to enter the first solo dungeon, the lower Garrison. In order to get Barracks keys, there's 2 monsters that'll drop them, the dragons and the Minotaurs. Up on the screen right now, I'll put a picture of all the locations where you can farm these keys. Some of them are PvE and some of them are PvP, so keep that in mind. The first location is going to be the Minotaurs. This is in the PvE area. It's also where the first dungeon, the abandoned barracks, is located. Barracks keys are currently a 5% drop rate as of this video. Alternatively, you can also farm in the PvP area and the PvE area designated below. There is more mob density. Just be careful if you go into the PvP area because you can be killed by players. The next location is going to be the dragons. It's on the right side in the ruins of Atmar. There's also a world boss down here that's guaranteed to drop 2 holies, and there's a 5% chance to drop godlies. This is a group boss. We'll talk about that later in the video. Alright, now that you guys have your barracks keys, it's going to be time to enter the abandoned barracks. This is going to be your first solo dungeon. I recommend being at least 3k gear score. 3.5 to 4k is ideal, although that is going to vary depending on your class. Rangers inherently have a harder time than every other class, though with the recent changes, it is better. Once you kill Sarlocke the Betrayer, he'll drop a depleted key. You'll need a Dale gem to then combine to make the Undercourse key. To get your Dale gem, you're going to have to go to Hillsfar Dale. It's on the far west. There's a quick teleport. You'll just have to cross this peninsula to the west, and then you can kill these brutes and archers. I don't recommend killing the elites, they take too long, but there's a 15% drop chance as of this video when you're killing brutes and archers for them to drop a Dale gem. Once you have your Dale gem, you can right click it, click on your depleted key, and you can combine it into the Undercourse key, which is the key to get into the second solo dungeon. Hillsfar Dale is also a PvE area. The dungeon entrance is located in the back left of Hillsfar Dale. Depending on your class, I would recommend at least 5.5 to 6.5k combat rating before trying this dungeon. Upon entering, it'll consume your Undercourse key. Proceed all the way to the last boss. Upon successfully killing this boss, not only will you get divine armor orbs, you have chances at getting godly items, and this is also where you'll get your Saint Revere keys. He'll drop 3 in total. After receiving your 3 Saint Revere keys from the Undercourse boss, we're going to proceed back to town. The third dungeon location is going to be behind the church in the town's Saint Revere. As of this video, this is the newest solo dungeon. It's pretty hard. I would definitely recommend being very geared for it. I would recommend at least 7k gear score, but it's going to be dependent on your class. I did this at 9.8k on a PvP spec'd ranger, and it was actually pretty hard until I got the flow. It's very mechanic based, so you have to make sure you're interrupting or using your defenses properly. I actually made a guide on this dungeon showcasing how to run it under 2 minutes on Ranger, but I also explained the base mechanics so it'll apply for any class. I'll put it on the top right if you want to check it out. As of this video, there's only one half of the dungeon available. There's actually another floor, but we need a key that hasn't been released. I'm only going to be showcasing this floor. When you defeat the boss, he's going to drop a substantial amount of gold. He's going to drop 2 divine armor orbs and the chance for up to 3 godlies. If you can get this dungeon down efficiently, it's going to be by far your best money making strategy as a solo player and even as a group player. Next up, we're going to be talking about world bosses. There's currently 3 world bosses in Dreadmyst. There's 2 Minotaurs and a dragon. I'll show you the location for the first Minotaur. It's going to be located in the PvE area shown on the picture above. You can do this fairly early, probably around 4k gear score with a duo. You need a tank or you need a healer. He guarantees to drop a divine accessory orb. The next Minotaur world boss is in the PvP area. His name's Tanourus the Crusher. He's a little bit easier than the last one. He also is guaranteed to drop a divine accessory orb, but you're still going to need a healer or a tank and a DPS. The final world boss is Klauth the Dragon. He's the hardest of all 3, so you are going to need a group to do this. You can solo or duo this, but you need to be very high combat rating, like 7k or 8k plus, and you have to be a paladin or a cleric. Klauth is guaranteed 2 immortals, but you also have a 5% chance for godly gear. Group dungeons in general have more more loot and more golds, but it's also split between 4 players. The first dungeon we're going to talk about is the lower Garrison. The lower Garrison is going to be equivalent to the Barracks as far as combat rating goes. It's the entry level group dungeon. You will want to aim for at least 4 to 4,500 combat rating. This dungeon primarily drops holy items, but does have a small chance for godly items. The first boss, Melshon, drops 4 sets of 10 keys for the next dungeon, Tower, which are consumed on use and can be traded. Group dungeon number 2, Decrepit Tower. It's actually just southwest of the first group dungeon. The requirements for this group dungeon, I would say, is at least 6k, probably more realistically towards 6.5 to 7k for entry, but that's going to depend on your class. Upon entry, it's going to consume 1 tower key. There's 2 bosses in this dungeon. The first one's a giant dragon called Chazar, and then the second boss is called Lord Zargon. My next video is going to be a guide on how to actually do this dungeon in detail, and I'm going to break down each class role and what they need to do for each pull. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss out on any new videos. Each boss is guaranteed 1 divine weapon orb and 2 divine armor orbs. Lord Zargon has a chance to drop 1 to 2 divine accessory orbs as well. Chazar, the first boss, has a chance to drop 2 godly items. Lord Zargon, the last boss, is guaranteed at least 2 godly items and sometimes 3. The third group dungeon, Telamont Demiplane, is located in the PvE Minotaur area shown here. Just like the solo third dungeon, this is a significant step up. I would recommend being at least 8k gear score. The mobs in here hit extremely hard. The fire mites and the frost mites both do a volley, similar to the boss mechanics Chazar from the second dungeon. If you can get a solid group to do this is the only way you can get +4 gems currently. The amount of gold and loot has been buffed in this dungeon numerous times because of the time sink that's required and the amount of repair bills that you're going to spend. It's usually not efficient to farm. However, they just change it so keys are consumed for group dungeons and you can't buy keys anymore. So just spamming out the second dungeon might not be as viable, but time will tell. The first boss, Demiplane or Guardian, will drop 2 to 3 +4 gems and also 2 godlies. It'll also drop 20 Sanctum keys, which you can consume to be able to go to the next floor, which has the second boss. I want to take a second to shout out Scourge XD for allowing me to use the boss footage from the second half of the dungeon. I haven't had a group to be able to do it, so I appreciate you for letting me use the footage. Upon entry of the Telamont Sanctuary, which is the second floor for the second boss, it's going to consume your Sanctuary key, and then you'll have to fight this last one, the Prince Telamont. He's going to drop 5 of the +4 gems, and he's also going to drop 4 godly items. If you guys found this video helpful, please subscribe, like, and comment on the video below. I'd really appreciate it. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers. I just want to shout you guys out. I really appreciate the Dreadmyst community. You guys have been awesome. I've had a lot of you guys stop by my live streams on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. I love answering questions on there, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to stop by. Thanks for watching, guys.